This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
This is the best way to open a podcast ever. I hit the intro early, knowing Charity had just taken a bite of a chocolate bar, and then she scrambles to drink the water because I'm so unprofessional.
Because you're not very nice. I would say something else, but that would be inappropriate and tarnish my
Very nice reputation.
my persona and reputation. No.
Welcome to the podcast,
I know
everybody.
what you were doing. I know exactly what you were doing.
Waiting. Start it now.
Oh, there. Let's go. Because let's make her sound more ridiculous.
Rainy day today, and right off the top, we're going to waste no time ridiculing me. Ready?
Oh, okay, now we're ridiculing you. Why?
So, up on the podcast today, we're going to hear from Suzanne Quinlan. The citywide food drive is going on with the Gleaners Food Banks. We're going to have her on. But then we're going to talk about this list that we had this morning, which are 50 things that you should give up by the time you're 50. And I don't mean like smoking or whatever.
Do you want? Oh, okay.
It's sort of percentage stuff. But the point is, we did it on the air, and then the show ends, which was like minutes after. I know we were on for 2 more hours, but I wasn't really a part of it.
It's a blur.
And I start looking for the paper to do the bit here on the podcast.
Yep.
And I had forgotten that I had,
No.
joke.
No.
Okay.
Before you get there.
Yeah.
Let me just paint the picture from my side. So I'm sitting here waiting because I do the rest of the midday show. I voice track, and then we do this.
Right.
So I'm waiting for you to vacate that area so I can sit down. So I'm waiting, and I notice you're looking for something. You look confused. You look not lost, but just kind of, and sometimes you do. Sometimes you just look around, I know, to make sure everything's in its place. This was something different. And I asked you, are you looking for something? What's wrong? And that's when you say,
I can't find that list of things that you're supposed to stop doing after 50, which I had given to Charity.
yeah,
And I had forgotten that I give it to her. And you're laughing.
I'm dying. It was so funny because at the bottom of the list, I'm like, things you shouldn't worry about. Your memory, but maybe you should. Because yes, the shtick, the punchline of the morning was giving me the list because I'm not yet 50.
Yeah.
To then reference as
To
I get
prepare you.
exactly to get back when I get to 50. And he forgot
all the crap of life to shed. That's the whole idea.
So do you want the list now so you can go
Well,
back
why don't we do it from your perspective? Because
right.
you seem to find the arbitrary age of 50 to be a little questionable.
Yes and no. I understand it because I do think that wisdom comes with age. And as we get older, there's a bit more light shone on things. And we do put our perspective changes and our priorities change. So yes, I'm not arguing that. But to put it down to a specific age, I guess, is it kind of just stuck. I'm like, yeah, 50 is a good age. But it comes back to always being too young. I'm constantly reminded, and we've had this discussion about being told, oh, you're so young yet. You don't know yet.
Yeah.
And listening to this list and some of these items, I'm thinking, you could do that now. I'm finding that now.
Yeah.
I'm realizing this now, and I'm not 50. So to say 50 kind of, it puts too much of a point to that age, I guess.
Let's say this then. We're not saying that you can't get rid of the stuff until you're 50, but by the time you're 50, if you haven't gotten rid of the stuff, you should consider taking steps to remove it from your life. Does that make you feel better? Is that a little bit more accurate with how you feel?
Yes, because I think throughout your life as you grow, you should a lot of this should be shed right from the get-go.
Sure.
You shouldn't care
but
about a lot
we're
of
a
this
human
stuff.
condition.
Absolutely.
Especially in the social media world, we care about what people think.
I know.
Now, let me, full disclosure that I didn't mention on the air, this originally is a pared down list on, I think this is where the 50 comes from now that I think about it. I think it was 50 things to get rid of by the
At
time
50?
you're 50. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they
Okay.
picked, now, hey.
So you just picked your favorites.
Who's got time? After a while, they're picking dumb things, like matching pillows.
Well, yeah,
Stop it, right?
My God, who even?
Stop it.
I have never been worried about matching pillows.
I'm making stuff up at this point, but it's like, who cares about that?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think there's about 15 things. But what was interesting is that they all will elicit some emotional response of you are absolutely right, or wow, that would be too hard to get rid of. Like that, I wanted to find those 15.
Because there were a couple on here that did, for the most part, you're right. Most of them I agreed with and been like, oh, I'm already doing that. But there was the name, forgetting someone's name.
Yeah.
I do have a hard time with that. That's one that sticks with me. And I can't imagine not having a hard time with that because I want to remember people's names.
It seems disrespectful.
It does, like a little bit.
Here's the thing I run into being older is when you see people out of context. So you know somebody because they're a supplier to where you work. And then you bump into them at the movies and they're in jeans and a hoodie. And you're like, I know you, but I don't know how, because you always see them.
They're out of
and then they see you and they go, hey, Charity, how's it going? And you're
that's
like,
the worst.
I'm a moron.
That makes it even worse because they know your name.
Yeah.
And in the position we're in,
Yeah.
a lot more people know our name.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should know theirs too. And it's really disheartening when I
feel like a jerk when I don't know the name.
I feel like a jerk when I forget it.
I'm getting back again because I'm older. I'm to the point where I don't care that I'm embarrassed.
You're not worried about it. You're more comfortable asking.
I say,
I'm sorry. What's your name again?
Seeing you out of context. Of course, I know you.
Remind me what your name is. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or how do I know you? From this service club. It's like, right, of course.
Do I know you?
You must have me confused with somebody else. So on that list, anyway, stop being worried that you forget people's names. Just ask them their name. Yeah. And hopefully, everybody's becoming a little bit more understanding. What else is on the list? Because clearly you have it. I don't have it.
Doing things because you should.
Right.
Not necessarily because you want to.
Yeah. So let me give you the best example of that. Have you seen the new show on Netflix? No, you have to see it. No, I don't. And because you used to be pressured, like all your friends, you have to see it.
Yep.
Oh, you don't play golf? You have to play. No, I don't. Hey, have you gone to that restaurant? You have. No, I don't. Stop telling me I have to do something. I'd be happy to go, but not because you say I have to.
Yes.
And by the time you hit 50, and I think you probably feel the same way.
That's starting.
Societal pressures?
Yeah.
No. There's nothing in society that has to pressure you so much you have to do anything other than obey the law and try not to be a jerk.
I think COVID helped a lot with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it gave us, and we saw it everywhere, those memes. It gave you an excuse to say no without the guilt, without people being hard on you for saying no. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to stay home. You know what? We're not feeling well. We're going to stay home. Yeah. Like it, and your time became more precious. You became a lot more picky about how you spent your time and with who.
That's right.
So I think I do think that attitude's changing. It certainly has become easier for myself and our family to do things we want to as opposed to how we should.
Absolutely.
Tolerating bad behavior. Again, that starts before 50.
Yeah.
If it hasn't, you're right. If it hasn't happened by 50, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And no.
And I think because you get to be 50, people expect this, you're cranky. No, that's just the crap I don't want to put up with.
And you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Not at all.
It's just a matter of if someone's doing something or saying something or even on social media, instead of adding to it, delete it.
Yeah.
Shut it off. Shut it down.
I threw a dude out at somebody this summer.
A dude?
Somewhere.
Dude.
I think we were in Huntsville. I was by myself, Catholic shop. I was looking at something else. And these young guys were walking outside or whatever, and he dropped an F-bomb. For no reason, in public, loud enough, children are around, and it kind of caught people's attention. I just stopped looking. I said, dude.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like, what? It's like...
Really?
Yeah, and then I think his other buddy was like, hey, whatever, like he had to tell, like, I don't know that it was my place to stand in front of them and strip them down, but like, dude.
But I think people have become so, what's the term? What they feel and say, they have a right to share, no matter the language they use.
Hey, free speech.
Exactly. And I'm all for, you know what, you do have your opinion, that's fine, but that doesn't give you the right to make everybody else uncomfortable by sharing it.
Because you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Just stop.
You can feel the way you feel, but not at someone else's expense. At least, that was very good of you. Thank you for doing that. Whether people like you. That's becoming more and more comfortable to take too. It's like, meh, okay.
I bet you 300 years ago, by the time you were 50, if you were alive, I think life expectancy was probably 52 then. Okay, here comes social media. The pressure to be liked and to have more friends on my Facebook page than you do on yours, and which radio station has more likes than the other. Like we're obsessed with being quote unquote liked, not liked, but liked. We got to give that up. That's the burden of that comparison to everybody else and who technically has more friends and stuff. It's
take it for what it is. Look at what it is.
Yeah.
The people who are important to me like me. They love me. I don't have to worry about the masses. Yeah. Do I want to be? Sure. But it's
like, I'm not trying to be disliked.
No. But if you don't like me, that's fair. You don't like me. Okay.
Also on that list, I don't want to jump unless it's there, and it's embrace your quirkiness.
Yes.
Everybody has a quirky, and we bury it when we're young because we don't want to be different. By 50, not only bring it out, but embrace it. That's what you are.
Exactly.
And that's probably why the person who loves you the most loves you, because of your quirky, and everybody else, enjoys your quirky or understands it. Don't bury it. Don't put that candle under a bushel. Get that light out there. Be quirky.
And another one, being a perfect parent.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That's a tough one. And yes, I would say probably 50 is the age where you start to embrace that because your kids are a little bit older. Mine are younger. So I do. And it's so funny because that has crept up more in the last couple of years. Am I doing everything I can? How many years of therapy are they going to need? You mentioned quirkiness. Instead of putting that flame out, am I igniting it? Am I encouraging it enough to be them? All those questions go through your head, and that worry of maybe not being a perfect parent, but being a good parent, giving them the tools to succeed. It is a worry. Of course it's a worry.
I heard a podcast, a couple of them for sure, which argue the nature versus nurture, right?
Yeah.
So my wife and I gave birth to 2 children, but my wife was adopted. Nature versus nurture. So how much of Kathy is a result of the parents who raised her and the ones who birthed her, right? That whole idea. So by the time they get to be 20, how much impact does parenting really have? And scientists say overall, less than we think.
Oh, geez.
Less than we... No, so in other words...
So I'm doing all of this for nothing, Mark?
That's the other part of it. Like, we stress so much. Good kids will grow up to be good kids and good families and all that stuff. But then explain to me how some of the most remarkable people grew up in horrible circumstances and yet turned out to be amazing people. So,
that's very true.
On the other hand, so I guess the point is, do the best you can, but don't clobber yourself.
Yes, they are their own individual.
Result.
They're going to do what they do and be who they are. Bad weather. I love bad weather.
By the time you get to be 50, you can't be all, I can't believe it's raining today. Well, it's,
Unless it really dampers plans. Yeah, I can see that. But worrying about bad weather.
Daily?
That seems a lot.
I know people who do that. Like every day it's too hot. Or it's going to rain, or
they have other things to worry about.
In other words, the weather is a problem every day. Just let that go.
Now, see, this is one that a lot of people should drop so they can be part of Dancing with the Stars, looking stupid when they dance.
Yeah, and I saved that because of the story about my dad.
Dance.
Like that made sense to me. My father passed away 8 years ago, at the age of 92. He would have been 100 this year. And I had never seen him fast dance. My mother and father danced at our wedding. It was a slow dance, and that's fine. I danced with my mother. But my mom was 44 when I was born. So by the time I would be dancing at 16, 17, they were in their 60s. They were old forever to me. So I never saw my father fast dance, quote unquote, until it was either a niece's or his granddaughter, like my niece's wedding, and YMCA came on, Village People. And he jumped up like he was sitting on something hot. And I was like double clutched, and he goes out on the dance floor. He might have been 80 something. To YMCA. And I was like, what is this? I have never seen this in my life. And then we get to the chorus and everybody's doing YMCA. So he's watching it and he's trying to imitate it. I don't think he realized that with our arms we're spelling YMCA. He's spelling it wrong. So it's like, Dad.
He just has his arms up in the air.
Yeah. And because I'm an a-hole, now I'm going up to my dad going, Dad, you're spelling it wrong. In the middle of the day, like totally missing the point to my father. And he's like, I don't care. And he's a huge smile, and he's up there, and he's dancing. And that's when it's like, ding, Mark, ding. I was in my 30s, so I was still, now don't do that, Dad. That's embarrassing. Stop being worried about what you look like when you dance.
Or what you eat. That's
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassed by what you eat. Don't be embarrassed to have a second dessert.
Oh my
or
gosh,
dessert
no.
in general. When you said that this morning, I'm like, really? That's a worry? Because I guess I've embraced that a lot sooner. Life is too short. Don't be
Again,
afraid to dance.
my
Don't be
gosh.
afraid. Don't be afraid of being judged of what you're eating.
Another story
and
about
eating
my dad.
desserts.
He told me he came back from the doctor. I said, what did the doctor say recently? He said, everything's okay, but he's concerned I should give up ice cream. And I said, oh, you love ice cream. Like, again, I did the and he said, yeah, I told him I'd rather die than give up ice cream. So, like,
And
I
that's
love
what
ice.
comes down
and
to,
it's sort of
right?
like, I've lived this long, like I'm in my 80s, I should give up ice cream. Well, man, it's my last visit. I'm not giving up ice
Well,
cream.
yeah, and I don't mean die.
But he doesn't have 4 bowls a day, but he
No.
likes ice cream. Yeah,
So enjoy
then have it.
Enjoy it. Stop worrying about it. Don't
Yeah.
don't, instead of 4 scoops, maybe just have 2.
Whatever,
But
right.
enjoy it.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't worry about taking the day off. A lot of people do this. A
Yeah.
lot of people, my husband included, and I know you do too. Take a friggin' day.
I don't like taking
Enjoy
days.
it. I don't like taking days if I don't have a reason for it.
That's right.
I don't want to waste it. But I think it's more the worry of, well, what's going to happen at work? What
Mm-hmm.
are they going to think of me? What are they going to say? What's going to fall behind? You know what? Work will continue. You are just as you are replaceable. And that's the mind frame I think people don't realize either. They're
Right.
not, the place is not going to fall apart because you take a day off. Take a day, enjoy it. You deserve it. Don't worry about it.
If we won $70 million, you and me, tomorrow
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
Lotto Max,
Yeah.
shared a ticket. There'd be a show here on Monday. Well, we'd probably still be here and tell everybody, nah, 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 nah.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah,
we
guess what?
can
We
do
won't be here
whatever we
tomorrow.
want this morning because
Yeah.
we won't be here
Because
tomorrow.
we think that. Or if something awful happened and I was no longer here on the planet, there'd be somebody in this chair tomorrow. And yet today I think, oh my gosh, if I'm not here,
Yeah.
everybody's going to think that I don't care anymore. That and we get all in our head and worry about. And the thing is, if you need some time, take some time. You're a better person for it.
Absolutely.
And listen to me preaching it, but I won't listen to myself.
No, because you are awful for taking time.
Terrible. I'm awful.
You are.
And so are you.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're awful. We're both too dedicated.
Laugh lines. I have embraced, I don't know, it's like I turned 40 and all of a sudden these lines right here at my eyes.
Those?
And this one here, there's ones around my mouth. All of a sudden they were there. I never noticed them. But since I've turned 40, they're a lot more predominant. And at first it was like, wow, that's all I could see. In fact, my niece, God love her, she asked me one day what I did to my face because I was smiling and it's the crease is very indented.
Right.
I said, no, that's a laugh line. And I forget what she said. My mom happened to be standing there too. And I said, no, honey, that's a wrinkle. And she kind of crinkled her nose a bit. And my mom leaned in and she's like, actually, Sonny, that is a laugh line. And that just proves that your aunt has had a very happy life so far and they'll just continue. And I just thought, yeah,
Yeah.
I am proud of these lines. I carry these lines with pride. Each one of these lines means something. A life well lived so far.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like it's over. It's not. It's just, I clearly have laughed a lot.
So
And
your
that's
mom's
good.
over 50. She gets it.
She does
Good
get
for her.
it. She does get it. But yeah, it was a shock. But now it's kind of like, no, yeah. And Jamie Lee Curtis, I was just reading about her today because Jimmy was talking about how her Halloween movie, Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends.
We think.
Does it? Part
I don't think
one?
it does. She's been doing that
45 years.
45 years she's been making those movies. Don't ask me what her name is or her age is. So she'd be into her 60s, probably close to 70
Mm-hmm.
now. And beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was her advice. She said, let yourself age. All those lines mean something. She's tried Botox. She goes, all that did was make me look like a plastic doll.
Yeah.
She said, it's not good. All that experience, all that happiness, all the sadness, everything that you carry was gone. She said, and I didn't like it and it didn't look natural. She
Right.
said, so embrace it, welcome it, enjoy it.
When I talk about 50 things in 50 years, a lot of the stuff on there I didn't do were cosmetics. Like, don't worry about graying hair.
Yeah.
Don't worry about...
And we saw that through the pandemic too. A lot of people embrace that.
It's like, stop worrying about your appearance. Stop worrying about shopping without makeup. So that was a specific female thing. So I didn't want to get into that. But
No,
I thought I intentionally saved this one for last. And that is at age 50, stop worrying about the haters.
Yes.
there are people who don't like you. I get it. You're trying to get people to like you. But no matter what you do, there are people who are going to actively oppose you.
Doesn't matter what you
There
do
are
or
people
say.
that you walk in a room and you roll your eyes because you know here comes the left-handed compliment or the insult. Oh, there you are. There's
The
something.
passive-aggressive behavior.
And they don't like you, and for whatever reason they enjoy poking the bear, like whatever, right? The literal all-out haters. And
That's
you
not why I
gotta
poke the bear.
No, I know, because it's the shtick. But
Because it's fun.
it's that literal. You gotta find a way to let it go.
You do.
And rise above, because
And it's
yeah,
it's almost like a drug. It's very easy to fall into,
yeah.
to buy into it, to not only listen to what they're saying, but also you yourself become angry and start hating on everything. And you
very
just got to
true.
block it out. You got to block it out.
And one of my favorite sayings, because I live by favorite sayings, was a little bit about the grudge and, trying to worry about the people who hate you. It said, carrying a grudge is like drinking poison and thinking that will kill the other person.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything to them. They're oblivious.
They're not even thinking about you right now,
No.
while you're walking around hating them and being worried about, what are they thinking right now? They're not thinking about you.
No.
They're not.
As much as you'd like them
And
to.
as much
They're
as
not.
that hurts to think that, but I want them to feel the pain I do,
No.
feel the pain they cause me.
No.
You just got to find a way. Hard. It's tough.
Oh, it's
talk to somebody,
incredibly
get
tough.
counseling if you have to, whatever it takes. But we're just saying by 50, you've got permission to clear all that crap up in your life.
All right.
Bring it on.
Okay. So I
Bring
can work on
on.
it now. By 50, it'll be gone. You said it. Oh, I'm so glad.
Also on the show, Suzanne Quinlan of Gleaner's Food Bank. Citywide food drive is this weekend with a bit of a change, but things are looking pretty good after the Thanksgiving long weekend. How do the shelves look after Thanksgiving, Suzanne?
Oh, I have to say, kudos for Lady of Fathom and St. Joseph's. They did a mega Thanksgiving food drive, and they filled 4 bins, which was almost 800 kilograms of
Wow.
food. And Nicholson's kicking off one right now for 10 days. Yeah, the schools are starting to kick in. It takes some time to get back to school, but they'll start doing food drives, and that's very helpful. Especially, this is a different food drive. It's our new annual food drive.
Yes, this weekend.
Yeah, it's this weekend. So we truly felt for the public safety and all those young volunteers that we had to change it up. So we're doing our first ever drive-through food drive, and so we're very excited about that. And the Exit team, their agents are going to be on every grocery store, both Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th, from 11 through to 5, asking if you would make a donation to Gleaners. So that's really great that they brought. I didn't have to find too many teams this year.
Right.
And they were able to cover every grocery store. So I really like to thank them for that. And then we'll have, we have the Navy League coming out, and we have the Air Cadets coming out to help sort food, etc. And then the general public. We reached out for general public to please consider volunteering on Saturday or Sunday.
And if they want to, they just contact you directly, Suzanne? They contact Gleaners and you set them up with a time?
Yep. They just give us a call, 613-962-9043, and we'll set them up. We have a gap between 1 o'clock and 5. The Air Cadets are in 10:30 because they come just so we can give them a prep rally first. And they work till 1:30, and then we're going to need a new team to come in after them.
Okay.
But one exciting thing is we're going to have Pegasus cheer on the property.
Oh.
And they're going to be cheering everybody who comes in and donates.
Oh my gosh. If you've never had anybody cheer you,
Saturday and Sunday will be the day to do it.
you know what's going to happen is I'm going to have 2 bags worth of stuff. I'm going to give you 1 bag to get back in line.
And then come in again.
Hey, but Suzanne, to be clear, because we've done it that one way for so long, it is no longer leave the bag on your front porch. That isn't going to get it done this year.
No, there's no door-to-door canvassing whatsoever.
Okay. So we want to make people know, drive through or see the great Exit Realty agents at the grocery stores.
Exactly. We are very excited about seeing how this works. It should be a really great year for us, and we'll see. But I think people will be excited about the drive-through. It's touchless mostly, and because we'll have barrels and pylons to show you how to go through the barricade. And, of course, you're going to see the cheerleaders.
Of course.
Oh, my gosh.
Of course.
You're going to see the cheerleaders.
I mean, who do we appreciate?
Well, and I'm sure any and all donations are welcome, but are there key things, Suzanne, if someone wanted to know specific items, what should they make a point of getting and bringing by?
Of course, the mainstay: peanut butter, apple juice, canned tuna, pasta and pasta sauce, beans, canned vegetables, Kraft dinner, pudding, vanilla, granola bars, baby food and formula. And we welcome fresh produce, but only the line standing ones, which would be potatoes, apples, or onions.
It kicks off 11 a.m. Saturday, running both Saturday and Sunday. New this year, the drive-through food drive, the annual citywide food drive-through in support of Gleaners Food Bank. Thanks so much, Suzanne.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great day.
I'm glad you clarified that it was a drive-through this year and not porch pickup or driveway pickup.
I didn't want to leave the impression that it was plus a drive-through.
No, and I think that's important. So make your donations because we are heading into the holiday season. Thanksgiving kind of kicked it off, and that was great. She said they had a good weekend, but now it kind of, I think, things need to kick up and kick into gear. So get those donations in this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and help support our local food bank.
Join us tomorrow morning. David Foote's going to be on the show of the Belleville Senators. Their season opener is in Laval tomorrow night. Home opener against Laval is Saturday here at the CAA Arena. That's going to kick off at 4 o'clock. And he's going to say one of the funniest things, because we already chatted with him. One of the funniest things is that the fan kind of expo show begins at 4 o'clock with the red carpet where the players can come in. And he said some players may get there before 4 because it's their first professional home game.
Yes.
They got drafted, whatever. It's an exciting day for them. We don't think that, right? We think we're excited and they're, but for some of them, this is the very first time as a professional game at home, so they might get her before 4 for a 7 o'clock game. Wow. Like they got, so do I have to get there at noon to see a few of them sneak in?
Depends on who you want to see.
That's right. You want to get on the bike and have this. If you want to see the rookies, make sure you're there by 4. You know, the vets, they'll be there about 5:15, whatever.
6:30 they roll in.
Get there on Saturday. Dave is going to fill you in on that. How the team feels with team chemistry and the importance of what last year meant to make the playoffs to rebuild into this year. So he's got some great perspectives all coming up tomorrow with Mark and Charity on the air and the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast.